Chores are a part of everybody's everyday life, and all of our chores, depending on where we live, can be a little bit different. Now, something like mowing, I've always enjoyed mowing, and I always have, maybe always will. I do now anyway. Something that is becoming sort of burdensome to me is all the work that it involves taking care of trees and keeping buildings protected from them, keeping a forest healthy, and that sort of thing. Today I have a lift rented, and I figured in the area where I'm going to build the carport, there are some trees up high here that I definitely won't want falling on the new building. I definitely won't want to be trimming over the top of them in the future. I want good, healthy tree growth over the top of what that carport is going to be. So I decided that I'm going to do some trimming. There may even be a couple of the smaller trees that I take down entirely for protection and for the health of the forest around here. So that's what I'm doing on this episode. Stick around. I now have this finished and trimmed up in the area where the carport is going to be. There shouldn't be any trees that will damage it in the immediate future. I never know exactly what snow and wind might do, but there's a lot that can be done to prevent it ahead of time, and I think that I've done that. Generally, I prune the tops of the fruit trees every 2 years. I did it last year, but while I've got the lift rented, I might as well do it again. Anyway, the orchard now is all trimmed, and I am really pretty amazed with the amount of apples in that apple tree. It's an Arkansas black apple, which is just an absolutely wonderful, delicious apple. It's ugly as can be. It really needs some severe pruning, even up high, and that's where most of the apples are. Last year, anything I couldn't reach with the ladder, my daughter climbed that tree and got every single apple off of it. So that worked out really well. I'm hoping she can come down and do the same for me this year. The pear tree, the first one that I trimmed, honestly, last year it was wonderful for apples. This year I didn't see many blossoms on it, but there's actually a fair amount of apples on that one now too. The Asian pear is just a really dependable bearer for me. It has been every single year. Now, the first year that I bought this property, the realtor's advertisement said there was an orchard, but you could barely even find the orchard. It was so overgrown. The grass was actually up over my head. And if I can find a picture of that, I will include it. But then once I got the grass cut down, and I used a weed whacker to mow this entire area the first year, once I got that grass cut down, I found that there were so many vines growing into particularly the apple tree, but really all of them, that none of them were bearing fruit. So that first year I went ahead and I killed all of those. I cut them off. I used triclopyr on the stems to kill the vines. And then the second year, if I remember right, the second year I didn't have any fruit either. And then 2 years ago, the apple tree was just absolutely wonderful for fruit. Last year, not so much. And then this year, all the fruit trees are actually looking pretty good. I have a couple of low-hanging branches on this hackberry tree. Don't amount to much, but I have not felt like using a saw on a ladder, and it's only up there about maybe 12 or 15 feet, so it shouldn't be a big deal. But while I've got the lift here, I'm going to go ahead and cut those down. If you watch some of my earlier episodes, you know that the one tree that I absolutely despise is the tree of heaven, and there are still far too many of them on this property. I kill 2 or 3 of them a year and then cut them down, cut them up for firewood and such. But you can see behind me there are 3 that are about 60 feet tall that are dead on the top. Oh, I'm sure they're dead all the way down. When I drop them, I don't want them to hit these little maple trees, the sugar maples that I planted here. And I think I can aim them pretty much to where they'll come between them, and I can always pile up some concrete block or something around them to help protect them. But if there are any low-hanging branches that could actually get off to the side and maybe kill one of those trees or break them off, I don't want that to happen. So while I'm here and I got the lift set up, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can trim some of the lower branches off of those 3 tree of heaven. Well, as you may have seen, that we're really close to traffic, and I don't want anything to fall out into the highway. I don't want to see somebody get hurt or a car messed up or something. So I've been using a rope to try to minimize how far out they can fall and keep them dropping just as straight down as possible. But there's a lot of branches down below, so they get hung up in that pretty easy too. But that's the way I'm going to continue working at it. I'm actually able to get higher in the tree than I thought I would be able to. As tree cutting goes, today's kind of a sad day for me. This big maple tree, God only knows how old it is, probably over 100 years. It's over 5 feet in diameter. But of the 6 major limbs on it, 4 of them are dead and have fallen. All but 1 fell on its own. 1 I saw was dead and I didn't want it to crash into my shed, so I cut it down, and that was actually the biggest limb. Only 2 live ones left, and even 1 of them has an awful lot of dead on it. So it's really a hazard in that it's hanging over this driveway. It could hurt me, it could hurt Gabby, it could hurt my neighbor, it could hurt her visitors. I don't want them falling on anything, so I'm going to go ahead and take down the last 2 limbs. I don't have anything big enough to cut into that 5-foot diameter part of the stump, so it will have to sit there and rot. Now, I think with most maple trees, at least silver maple trees, that this one's probably hollow all the way to the ground. And that's kind of evidenced by the trails that the squirrels have taken through the middle of the tree and coming out knots where it's been trimmed or broken branches in the past. But anyway, it's got to come down. Okay, I got that limb taken care of. It took more time than what I was thinking it might, but it's all on the ground, and now I got a mess to clean up before I can get to that last one. And that last one, looking at it from this angle, goes way out there. And I'm running out of time on rental on this piece of equipment, so I don't know how much time I'll have left. Once I get this mess cleaned up, I may have to take it back, or I may have time to set up and cut off some of the smaller limbs, but I'm pretty certain I'm not going to have time to do that entire thing. Cleaning up the mess of limbs in the driveway here took a lot longer than I expected. It ended up that I did not have enough time to cut down the other limb that needs to be taken down eventually. It's probably the healthiest one of all 6 that there were there, so hopefully it'll last another year or 2. I'm not going to rent a lift just specifically to do that, but next time I have to rent one, which seems like it's every year or 2, I'll go ahead and take care of it then. And now I've probably got several days of grinding up all these limbs, cutting up some firewood, and burning a lot of this too. I have enough firewood cut to last me for at least a couple of years, so I'm hoping that this pile I can give away to someone who might need it for firewood. There's a good bunch of burning here. I got this area all cleaned up yesterday. I have 2 more piles just like it out back, but there's not much sense in recording that, so I will see you on the next video. Thanks for being here with me. Goodbye.